Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing the movie Interview with the Vampire. Now, this is the second time that I've watched this movie, and it's also based on the book of the same name by, of course, Anne Rice. In my mind, Interview is a classic vampire story that if you want to read a vampire book, and you have no idea where to start off with, obviously with Dracula, but if you don't know what else to read which is vampire related, you have got to at least try Interview with the Vampire. It is a classic vampire story. So the movie was released in 1994, but the book was released in 1976. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes long, and the director is Neil Jordan. Now, as I said, I've only watched the movie twice, and I've just reread the book for a second time at the beginning of October. So both the book and the movie I've watched and read twice. So just a overview of what the movie is about. And there are differences between the book and the movie. Well, of course there are. There are scenes in the movie that aren't in the book. But the ending of the movie is slightly different than the ending of the book. But overall, what Anne was trying to do for this book is that she was because I watched this in an interview by her. She said that she got the idea in her mind about, well, what if someone was to interview a vampire and ask them everything about their life, about what it was like to be a vampire and to become a vampire, and what it was like to drink on the blood of humans and the whole existence about being a vampire. So this story is about our main character called Louis, who in the movie is played by Brad Pitt. And he is being interviewed, I'm pretty sure, by Christian Slater. Now, Louis says right off front that he won't harm this person, that he just wants to talk to them as he wants to tell them about his life. And during so we start off with when Louis was a human, and he um, was very destructive. I think that he just lost his wife and he just wanted to die and end it all. He was struggling with life, and he came across an individual called Lestat who turned out to be a vampire, who turned him into a vampire himself. But in the movie, Lestat's been played by Tom Cruise. Louis is a very articulate person, as he's been he's been a vampire rather for 200 years. Tom Cruise plays Lestat really, really well. He's very intense, and he just wants to give Louis the experience about being a vampire himself. Yes, Lestat can be considered evil and cruel and manipulative and controlling. Yes and no. He does these certain things for his own benefit, yes, but there is more to him than what meets the eye. Louis is more on the good side. As he first becomes a vampire, he tries to reject that side, as he doesn't really want to drink the blood of humans. He always drinks from rats. He's always catching them and drinking their blood. And there's a nice scene in the movie where Louis is in a sewer and Lestat goes into the sewer, and they have a conversation in there. But ultimately, Louis succumbs to his bloodlust for humans. Louis isn't necessarily good, but he's not necessarily bad. They are vampires, and vampires are evil beings. You're in this. We come across another character called Claudia. Now, Louis comes across a young girl who, in the book and in the movie, is crying next to her mother who has died of the plague. And she's crying over her corpse. And I think Claudia at this time believes that her mother is still alive. So Louis and Lestat turn her into a vampire. And now, when they do this, whenever someone's turned into a vampire, they do not age. So they stay the same age that they are forever when they were turned into a vampire. So Claudia, throughout this story, remains to be a child, but internally she ages, so she becomes a full-grown woman inside. But exteriorly, she's a child, and Lestat's always dressing her in all these pretty dresses and giving her toy dolls. And I think it's more like a moth to the flame type of thing with victims, that he wants Claudia to look as innocent as possible so she can lure her victims, whether they're male or female, towards her. Yes, they do care about Claudia, and they are a strange family, but they are a family. Claudia is played by Kirsten Dunst, who I looked on her IMDb page, and she hasn't, well, in that time in her life, she didn't do too many things. She did do a couple of noticeable or well-known TV appearances, but at the time she didn't do too many acting stuff. So on the cover of the poster, on the poster itself and on the front of this DVD that I own, her name wasn't on the front. It wasn't on the back, but her name wasn't on the front. And I felt that was kind of an insult to not just her, but her character, because Louis, Lestat, and Claudia are the three main characters of this movie. So because Claudia is and will ever remain a child externally anyway, she becomes very hateful and disliking towards Lestat, as they've made her this way, and that she will never grow up, she will never age, and she will remain a child forever until she's ultimately killed or dies. But her performance as the child of the movie, you would think that would be really irritating, but she acts so good in this movie. She is so believable. Not just as a child, but somewhat more adult for her age, more grown up for her age. And I think that kind of makes it more believable, especially when she's interacting with Lestat. So during this movie, a big part of Louis and Claudia's characters is that they want to know what it is to be a vampire, what it means to be a vampire, and they want to go and seek out other vampires to actually kind of ask them a bunch of questions about that type of stuff. Lestat doesn't really want them to do this. I think he wants to keep them with, to actually keep Louis and Claudia with him. But something happens to Lestat, something somewhat bad, and Louis and Claudia go off, and they come across this strange theatre of vampires, who is run by a character called Ahmad, who is acted by Antonio Banderas, Puss in Boots. But yeah, he's perceived about being the oldest vampire, and having known Lestat, and he just wants to be I think a role model towards Louis, and to show him what he seeks and give his answers to him. His ending in the book and ending in the movie is different, but Antonio plays him so seriously, and he is he's just so mesmerizing to watch, and to when he's on the screen, you like completely focus on him. So yeah, that's the story. I mean, we actually find out about Lestat. Lestat does come back at the end. When we see him, he does seem very remorseful and sorry for what he has done. I mean, both Brad Pitt and especially Tom Cruise go all in with this role. I mean, I don't know what they had to do or what they were thinking, but they went all out in this movie. They, my word, their performances were top notch. So yeah, I think I've said enough about the movie. This is a really excellent movie that everyone should at least watch and read at least once. Yeah, I can't wait to carry on with the Vampire Chronicles. The next one is the Vampire Lestat, and I want to read that here in January of next year. Interview with the Vampire, the movie, really excellent. The lighting, the costumes, the scenery is all on point, no matter what location they are in. The acting, as I said, is excellent. There isn't much I can complain about this movie. It's not, as I said, I mean, no movie's perfect, but I can't really think of anything I did dislike about this movie. When I was watching this and also reading it, I was thinking about what some of my BookTube friends would make of this movie. BookTube being the community that I'm a part of on YouTube, and what would they think about this story? As it's not really a mainstream movie, I believe it isn't anyway. It's not all like blood, guts, and gore and action all the time. It's more realistic vampires. What would vampires be like if they actually existed? And because it's grounded in reality, yes, you have to suspend your disbelief in some scenes and with some characters because vampires are fictional beings. But because they are kind of somewhat set or the story is somewhat set in our reality, the amount of gore isn't as high as a mass audience would think or expect. So I believe this isn't really much of a mainstream movie, but it is a movie nevertheless that everyone should watch at least once. I know that there is a TV series about Interview with the Vampire. I'm not interested whatsoever unless someone that I know or trust with this type of stuff recommends it very highly to me. Then I won't watch it if they don't say anything about it, or if I haven't heard anything good about it. But at this moment in time, not interested in watching it. So that's been my video for Interview with the Vampire. Hopefully I've said enough about it, and yeah, it was a great vampire movie to watch. So guys, that's been my video. Let me know, have you watched Interview with the Vampire, watched the movie or read the book, and what did you think about them? And thank you for watching my video, and with all that out the way, I'll see you on my next one.